This is Jen with Unchained Crochet. Sorry it's been a while since I uploaded. I had a knee surgery about 10 days ago. This is the second try on this video because my phone is not storing things well. Even though I've cleared a bunch of files and pictures off of it, it's still just having issues. So I'm hoping that getting OneDrive and then using the record button within the YouTube app is going to help. Because I just did a 43-minute video and accidentally, I think I deleted it trying to clean up the phone. I don't know. So I may just need to get a new phone. So I don't want to get into editing and all that fancy jive. I'm just not up for that right now because I would rather focus on projects and tutorials. So what I'm wearing tonight is a little corner-to-corner shawl. I wear my shawls as scarves usually. It's crocheted, corner-to-corner method. It is Lion Brand Ferris wheel. I don't remember the colorway actually, I'm sorry. And what I like about this is I worked in some of the gray and brown colorway. There's a stripe here or there, but it really wasn't effective and stand out, so I stopped using that and just stuck with the one colorway. So I love the color and the little tassels I made with some jumbo yarn. I think it was Premier yarn, chunky or something. But they are nice to do with the chunky because you get the bulk without having all those little strings to cut even. Lots easier to cut. So that is that. I have tons of whips going right now. I've had startitis this week, being mostly chair bound and not being able to do my videos. I just decided I would start a bunch of projects and let everybody vote. I don't have very many subscribers right now, I know, so your voice will really count. If you leave comments in the comment box, please do comment. I want to know what you want to see more of, what you want to learn, what you want to make, those kinds of things. That will kind of direct my focus on tutorials. I'd like to get started on some more springtime projects. My focus is mainly to get us off of our pattern addictions and dependency, you know, and free your creativity. And also, you know, you modify a pattern so much, it pretty much is not that pattern anymore. So I can help you with learning to do mods, basically kind of modify on the fly. So, all right, I should have made a little list of things I wanted to talk about because I've been off work for like 10 days now and had knee surgery 10 days ago. So, so much to talk about. A shout out to Jen with Cinnamon Stitches. Thank you, Jen. I already had startitis and now I have inspiravitis, and in the oven right now I have a Fimo clay modified yarn hook. I'm making my own ergonomic candle to it and we'll paint it. I've made buttons in the past with Fimo clay, made some little buttons, even, you know, antiqued them. They were red and antiqued them, just little 1/2-inch buttons, and I poke holes in them to sew them on with my yarn needle. And I put those on a little quilt that I still have, but my puppy at the time was teething and he chewed off a bunch of the buttons. And then some of them got broken in the washer because I just threw it in there willy-nilly. But a lot of them are still on there and they've held up really well. Also have made my own thimble because I used to quilt and do a lot of hand quilting, and the ones at the store hurt my thumb. And I like to use my thumb to hand quilt and rock the needle in and out of the quilt. So this is one of them. They look like a big wad of juicy fruit gum. The other one was grape. So that's held up. I've used that quite a bit. I've also made other buttons. I'm gonna find it here. Like on this was knit. It's been a while since I knit. I think I made this, I think it was last year, maybe in the summer. I made several of these. It's called Wingspan. It's knit. So anyway, here are the buttons. I had these buttons forever, like in a day, I think. But I made those out of brown polymer clay. I think I might have mixed in a little bit of gold polymer clay and then brushed them with the gold and kind of dry brushed them with my finger. Just put the little dents in there for the veins of the leaves. And they're chunky but not weighty. So they're not real heavy. They don't weight the object down. I love them, and they go so well with this little scarf. I just kind of turned it, edges it on itself, and use the eyelets for the buttonholes, and it stays very nicely. So you can see there how that goes right there. You can really make them where it shows. Oh, I have another button in the oven too. I'll show you what that's gonna go on. I can't pause here, so I'll be right back. Maybe not right back. Grab my crutch here. I'll be back. Amuse yourself. Okay, so I got that out of the oven. The button I put in first. I also have something else in there that's still going, which I'll get into in just a minute. The button is for this. This is Priscilla Hewitts pattern for the needle hook case. Nastazias, I believe her name is, has the YouTube tutorial on it. I did not do the outer portion that's crocheted. Instead, I used a 5-star folder to give it some durability, some rigidness to the booklet back of it. And then there's 2 layers of batting over that. I kind of encased it between the batting and the fabric, and then the crochet, and then I whip stitched it on, or no, sorry, did a running stitch. And when I sewed the fabric and batting together to make pockets for the pieces of the folder with the rounded corners so they wouldn't poke through, I realized, because there's 2 layers of batting in there, but I realized that the white thread I chose was not the best. So what I did was I just went over the white thread with the turquoise permanent marker. And even when there's a little pool of the permanent marker, it looks like it's just part of the design. Like right there, there's a little pool of marker. But you can't tell because there's so many turquoise and greens in here. I love this yarn acrylic from Hobby Lobby for the inside. And this was a fat quarter that I just folded in 2 and trimmed off the excess. So I measured for the fabric and the batting, and then I also had to trim down the folder several times, just a hair here and there, to get those pieces to fit inside each half, because I sewed it down the middle so that the pieces stay on the back and the front. So it's just running stitch to attach the crochet to the fabric. I did that by hand, and I quite enjoyed that. Oh, and I left the tail from the end of the crochet all the way until I finished sewing the fabric and making the sandwich, basically. And I left that tail hanging along, extra long tail, because I knew I was going to go back and do this foundation single crochet. You can look at video up on that if you want to make one of these. This is my button loop. So I foundation single crocheted that, single crochet back to the starting loop I had. I just took it from the corner where I stopped crocheting the inside and just thread that long tail in through there, pulled it up through here, and started doing foundation single crochets from one of those single crochets, and on around and back to it, and then I buried my tail inside there. So the button that I just pulled out of the oven is for that, and I used polymer clay just some Fimo. Don't heat your oven over 265. It doesn't say how long to cook it. I just kind of judge, because you can't like take it out of the oven and it be hard. That doesn't happen. So I let it cool off a while and see if it hardens up. Sometimes it feels kind of like almost dried up gum on the bottom of a desk at a school. Then it's not quite done. Sometimes you can let it air dry some too, and that'll help firm it up. But you want it firm without it getting brittle. You don't want to make it brittle. Don't heat your oven over 265. And also, I warmed this up. I just took the package and placed it in my cleavage for a couple hours and warmed it up to get it more pliable, because it is really hard to work it. You have to really take a hunk off of there, even still, and start with a big chunky square and really warm it, and just keep warming it and warming it, warming it, the friction eventually, and then roll it, roll it, roll it. I did it on a calendar that my town sent out, and it picked up some of the print, but I don't care because I'm going to be painting it. Probably with permanent markers, and use alcohol and a paintbrush to kind of make it look batik, to mimic that batikiness. And I also added a design, gave it some radians with the tip of my shawl pick, and just kept kind of going around. So it kind of looks not like a turtle, but kind of like a star flower or a sea anemone. So it's round. It's not perfectly round. I didn't want it perfectly round. I don't want it to look store-bought. So also in there is my H hook, because H is my favorite, but Bates is my favorite. And I had a boy H hook that I hate the hook of. So I'm testing out, and I may end up using that hook more because of it. I don't think they're going to fit in here once I make the ergonomic handle, but Jen at Cinnamon Stitches has given me Inspiravitis, showing the needles that she has, the premium creme de la creme of the needles, of the hooks. And so, I think that's yarn that I could spend on money, or money that I could spend on yarn. Listen, I talk about yarn like it's money. I actually have a sweatshirt that says I have plenty of money in the bank, but it's in the form of yarn, and it's stored all over my house, stashed all over my house. So if yarn is ever a currency, girls, we're not going to be broke. So I took that H hook, and I literally just took a big hunk, I would say 3/4 of four of these bars here. So about that much Fimo clay, and started rolling, and got kind of a tube going that was bigger than my hook. And I figure since the Bates and the boy have this little thing here, that is going to help keep that handle, the grip, from falling off. So that's my guess, is that's going to act as a stopper and keep it from getting loose over time in use. So that boy needle, or boy hook, and sorry, I used to knit so much I keep calling them needles. The boy hook is in the oven still, and I'm baking that one a little bit longer, but same temperature, just because of the thickness. And it turned out pretty good. I have granite countertops, so it was nice to go over and kind of polish up the roughness that I couldn't get over here on top of this calendar. So that will get painted. I may paint some little roses or violets or something on it. I might add some glitter, nail polish, and then seal it all with my clear nail polish, because my nail polish is like the bomb. The bomb diggity. I love painting my nails and looking at them when I stitch. This is Sally Hansen Miracle Gel. You don't have to use a light, and I literally have to file it off with a file. And then I do glitter, kind of glitter ombre at the bottoms, so that makes it last even longer. It'll last 2 or 3 weeks easily with no chips. Just a little FYI, for those of you that go to the nail salon, you can save that money for more yarn. Put it to better use. Just kidding, because I love going to the nail salon too. So I showed you those, right? I think It's hard to remember because I did it in the other video. I think I did. I just love those buttons, and it's something nice to wear to Brown County, Indiana, or to cover Bridge Festival here in Indiana. You know, and I just use the eyelets for buttonholes. So let's see. What's next, guys? Oh, I made this in 2 days. This is what I call my walking poncho, because 2011 to 2012, I lost almost 100 pounds and was feeling so great. And all I did was start walking and riding my bike. And I literally like didn't feel like going out some days. But once I got started, like I planned to ride for a half hour on my bike, turned into 4 hours. So it was, I just love it. So that's what I want to do when my knee gets better. I'm hoping I don't end up needing replacement sooner rather than later, because the doctor at the follow-up visit after surgery, 24 hours after surgery, he said, yeah, I do see some arthritic change. So they seen that 18 months ago on x-ray, and he knew that. So it still does feel like bone on bone, and they did an ultrasound today to check for DVT because I'm having some discoloration and swelling. So I have been up and trying to be active and pace myself with activities so that I don't overdo it and sit up in the chair too long or lay back too long. You know, just keep it moving. So I want to keep it moving this spring and lose some weight again. But this is marled with my sock yarns that I used in knitting so much. Oops. I've just found some tails I didn't snip off. But I just love it. It uses even some yarn I didn't care for much. And once you blend them in with the other fingering weight, you know, holding 2 strands, it doesn't matter. And it fits me great. And if you start with an even number, and I started with, I want to say it was 90, but I don't know. I think I did, I don't know. It was either 90 or 100. Anyways, you just start with an even number, and evenly across from each other, you're going to do your corners. So I do 1 solid round there of double crochet, and then I started doing my corners to increase. And in my corners, I did 2 double chain 3, because I wanted an extreme point. So it's 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet. And you know what? I thought crochet, actually, the terminology sounds a lot like ice skating, like when they're announcing, oh, she just did a triplet, she just did a sow cow, she just did a double treble. We should be in the Olympics. Crochet and knitting should be an Olympic sport, and they should be like competing against each other. You know, who can make the fastest sweater? And they can announce all our moves. Just don't call us sow cows. When I first heard that term, I'm like, why are they calling it a sow cow? Maybe it's cow. I don't know. But cow, we like the word cow. We just don't like the word cow. For some of us that are chunkier, we like cow, C-A-L, but not cow. So we could call it a sow cow. Sow's not too good either. We'll have to call it something else. A saw cow, because they saw a cow. So that's that. So I also have startitis because I've not been able to sit up very long. Sorry. And do any videos, and my phone issues with storage has been a nightmare. So I have had startitis and inspirivitis, and I don't know, just lots going on. So while I've been off work, I would say this is a hamper that my husband, when he cleans up the house, he'll throw all my projects that are laying around in the living room on the chair and everything. He'll just throw them in here. So we only put like clean blankets in here and just set it in the bathroom. But I've set it here in the craft room / office. But you can see this. I'm guessing this has, I didn't count them, probably 12 products, and there's one that's not in there. Probably another, yeah, there's 2 that's not in here. But when the other 2 get added, it's going to be full. And I want to pull all these out and go through them in another video. They're all the whips, and they stay whips because I get to a point where, okay, it's time to do a video, to start a tutorial on it. So what I would like to do is show you all the whips and everything and discuss those, and you guys can vote in the comment section for what you would like to see a tutorial on. I'll describe it to you, show a picture that's drawn, you know, a sketch, and describe to you the object that it's going to become. But they are all started. This is craziness. And quite heavy. So, but for now, you know, I'll probably make that video tomorrow. For now, I want to get into working on the slip slop mystery top. Ready to do the back shoulders on that, so I'll be adding to that playlist. And then also the Wild Violets video. I'm going to show how to seamlessly, you know, make it look seamless on the shoulders for the 4 panels. So there's 2 on the back and 2 in the front. You can leave the front open if you want to open. But I do what in knitting we call the mattress stitch. So that will be the next step in the Wild Violets cardigan. So those 2 things are really a priority for me right now. I don't like them just hanging out there, especially since I haven't done a video in like 11 days. So I don't feel that's fair to any viewers who may want to do that right now. So, and the slip slop mystery top is more of a winter to early spring project to wear anyway, so it really needs to get done. And it is a long knit because of the size of it. It's oversized and asymmetrical, so I'm gonna get on with that. Oh, please like, subscribe, and share, and comment. Be kind. I'm just glad. I've been watching a lot of crochet videos, and I didn't realize we're such a big family. We have so many family. I love it. Shout out to Krista with Secret Yarnery. Loved your live show. And Crystal with Bag a Day. I love your persistentness. Is that the word? Your consistency is great. And thanks for the deal alert that you just gave for the Deal Genius or whatever. That was great. Didn't find anything on there that was in stock that I wanted, so everybody's probably eating it up since you gave us all an alert. And I'm also waiting on some yarn from Hobie. I got some of their Cotton King Deluxe that I am planning a really cool project with. I got 2 different colorways, so can't wait to get started with that one. But that one's coming soon. Oh, also, this is hard to remember what I've told you and what I haven't told you because I just did a 43-minute video and deleted it. I want to do like an 80s sweater crochet along. So anybody interested in the crochet along for 80s sweater, comment in the comment section, or you know, tag someone. Let's do an 80s sweater crochet along. I'm going to experiment a little bit. I have painted on fabric before, but I'm going to experiment with this gold. I tried tulip fabric paint. That's the oven with the ergonomic handle for the crochet hook going on. But I tried the tulip paint and didn't like it. It makes it hard and crunchy. I just can't imagine that like ever washing up and not snagging the sweater itself. But this is Basic Stitch, I think by Lion Brand. So I got this instead. It says multi-surface, but it doesn't say fabrics mentioned. I've used regular acrylic paints to paint t-shirts before. I used to do, like, I started with 1 stroke and then I learned to really paint and did oil paintings, flowers everywhere. Did murals for people, did a couple salons. So, and I met Donna Dewberry, the 1 stroke lady, and got her autograph in her book. That was really cool. So, anywho, I plan to water this down a bit and see what we get. I just kind of want to dry brush or lightly stamp some shapes onto this, and like a diamonds or triangles or something, to see how that works out. I really want a funky 80s sweater, and And then I've also wanted to do one like my journal that I have, my yarn journal, project journal. It's got like a hot pink and then a salmony mottled pink, pinky peach, and a gold and black. And the black is kind of a heathered charcoal black look. So those colors really inspired me to do an 80s sweater. So we'll see how this works out, because it's getting hard to find worsted weight or 3-weight gold yarn that isn't outrageously expensive or snaggy. I don't want one that's snaggy. If it's too shiny, that's not going to work. Anyway, if this works out, then I'll probably just put some gold in the black section. So we'll see. But I would love to do an 80s cal. If anybody else is interested, speak up in the comments box. I think we all could enjoy that quite a bit and recollect some memories of all our great sweater days in the 80s. Okay, so that's it for this video. We have a Facebook group. You're welcome to join. It's open to join. There's no rules written down. I am the queen of that castle, and I will put my crocheted crown on and banish anyone from the kingdom who is not kind, says mean things, you know, things that are not appropriate to the group, and good for the group. So with that being said, a lot of you are also sweet. I've watched so many of you, Creative Grandma, so many, I can't think of all the names, but you know, from smaller channels to larger channels, and I love you guys. So come join the group. I think that we can all learn from each other, contribute to each other, and just, you know what, I don't even care if you self-promote your channel. If you're a YouTuber, go ahead, self-promote. And if you make patterns, go ahead, self-promote. Just please don't spam. If it's excessive, I will delete it. So that being said, don't litter the channel. And I don't think anybody would intentionally do that. If they are, it's probably a troll. So I'm going to get off here and upload this video, and go check on my ergonomic mod I've done to my crochet hook. Thanks.